What's going on, YouTube? Zach is back, bringing you another Pokemon Unite replay commentary, this time featuring Articuno. Articuno is a Pokemon I unlocked relatively recently, and this was my very first game playing it. I decided to just take it right into ranked and see how it does, and it turns out it does very, very good. If you've been playing the game at all, then you probably encountered your fair share of Articuno, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's a very durable Pokemon that also does a lot of damage. You'll see throughout this game how easy Articuno is to just sort of 1v1 enemy attackers in some cases. But anyway, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, what you want me to do in future videos. And yeah, subscribe for more stuff like this. Anyway, we're laning top with Meowth, who's generally a pretty strong laner. He's got good last hit and he's mobile, so if he's stacking, he can get his stacks pretty early on just by being fast. And I can help him just by being a strong laner myself. Articuno has very strong laning tools with 2 good last hit moves, lots of AoE slows that are really hard to fight into, and also just being a very durable Pokemon that doesn't need to evolve to get strength. You can see already we're able to pressure this Lucario quite well, while Sableye invading the enemy jungle. This Sableye is pretty unconventional for our team, but it ends up working out pretty well for us. I don't want to spoil, but I was pleased and I was surprised. Seeing that my Meowth is doomed, I decided to try to steal the enemy farm, or at least pressure them toward it. But with both of them planning there and having good last hit, I decided instead to go for the last hits that I can secure on my own. Fun fact, if you stand at the top left corner of that bush, all the Natus will go into the bush and you'll be able to farm all of them without being seen. Very cool stuff. Anyway, you can see how even as they're going on me, they're having a hard time getting much done because of how tanky I am, because of the Icy Wind and Ice Shard combo. Of course, since their mid got invaded by Sableye, their mid went bottom, but the Sableye managed to take him out and he's controlling him quite well. Again, I was very impressed when I saw this throughout the game. Of course, I don't mind Guardy overstaying her welcome a little bit because we have good combos together. And yeah, with the use of his eject button, we're able to actually get a KO on the SP on there, which is really nice. And as you can see, like I said, there's a lot of good burst damage from Articuno to get last hits. In lanes like this, generally, you can consider going mid for the Natus there. But I didn't know if they would be there or not. I wasn't paying attention when the Gardevoir went there, and I knew these would be up soon, so I decided to save for these instead. But it's sometimes worth considering going mid early, especially if you're going to go for the Drago like I am in this game. If you know you want to go for it, then going for the Natus makes sense. You can be in the area early and set up, while also getting the XP that's there. Here I'm just fighting with the Blastoise a little bit. Finding out that he is one of the few defenders that can stand his ground somewhat against Articuno, but as soon as I have teammates show up, it's a lot easier to take him out. And in general, I've noticed in my games on Articuno that Blastoise is one of the few defenders that actually is very difficult to deal with. Ooh, I managed to score just narrowly in time to dodge the bird there. It was very, very nice. And I do like the Sableye not scoring his points yet, so we can control them a little longer by keeping the pad low. This means that farm doesn't spawn on their side, and we can continue farming the farm that spawns here instead. So rather than giving them farm and relinquishing it ourselves, we're just keeping the farm that's contested by playing in the area and playing strong. Of course, the Espeon does have good damage, so I need to be careful around him. But here, with the help of the Blastoise, it's a little bit too much for me to deal with. There I'm just learning a bit of Articuno's weaknesses, strengths, you know. I like to push the limits of Pokemon when I try them out, to understand, you know, where they actually thrive and where they struggle, you know? It's sort of like you want to know how strong it actually is, that way you know what to play around. But of course, Blizzard here does a lot to pressure these attackers, and with boosted damage of Ice Beam, both are incredibly low very, very quickly. Of course, the Espeon managed to escape, but the Blastoise here is a little low and still vulnerable, even if he is able to stand his ground against me somewhat. I don't want the Espeon to get me, of course. I'm going to fall out back here wait for my potion, get some berries, heal up just a little bit on the pad. But of course, wanting to go for these birds as well. It's kind of difficult though when you go in by yourself. Here, thanks to the damage of the Muta ult, I managed to pick up a sneaky kill on the Espeon before I go out. And my team is getting stuff done elsewhere on the map during this time, so me stalling them this way and trading like that is really valuable. I thought I was just going to die, which would have been kind of disappointing, but trading is really nice there. Meanwhile, top lane is at parity as well. With both lanes at parity and us continuing to farm mid in the meantime, we're really getting a lot done in terms of scaling levels on the map. But it also means that the enemy team, unless we're doing anything to stop them, can do the same thing. And we can see how they're all level 10 down here, we're all level 9 down here. Actually, they are starting to pull ahead a little bit. But it's nothing that a good team fight can't turn around. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about with Articuno 1v1ing attackers. They just can't do anything against me, they're just too oppressive. Yep, and with a little help from Sableye, we managed to take him out. But of course, Blastoise is going to stop all of our attempts at scoring, so here I'm probably just going to fall back and farm. Don't die, Articuno. Yep, here we are, just farming. If the Blastoise wants to chase us all the way out here, then it means that he's spending more time playing on us instead of playing bottom. But with the owl here, it means that they can potentially pick me off, which is not ideal. So, instead of letting myself get knocked out, I ult there to give myself a shield, buy myself some time for my teammates to show up, and we do manage to get some work done. The Blastoise is very low, there's other KOs as well to get, and even if I have to go down, trading there again is still good because we can knock out bottom in the meantime. And at this point, knocking it out is still good to give us map control. Stalling to get farm is nice, but if you're at parity with enemy teams, sometimes pushing the advantage can help you get ahead on the map instead of just playing evenly. Here with the bottom gold pad taken already on the enemy side, I decided to play top instead. Managed to get the Talonflame there very nicely. And of course, even though they're pushing bottom, I still decided to farm here just because I've talked about this before. Sometimes the best you can do is just generate advantage with where you're at, which is what I could do there. I wasn't able to make it bottom in time, so I had to trust my teammates could take care of things there. Farm a little bit and threaten to score top. And even if I can't score, I can still just go back to farming and maintaining a level lead. Articuno scales really well with levels, so having a lead like this at this point in the game is really, really nice. Yep, you can see how they have a really hard time fighting into Blizzard with their melee Pokemon. And then their attackers are just so fragile that the damage of Blizzard alone is enough to take them out. I suspect that they're going to nerf Blizzard at least in Articuno, if not Blizzard and Ice Beam. I think they're going to nerf the damage of Blizzard at least, and maybe the cooldown as well, or the slow effects, because it's a very, very strong move. But here we have level 13. This is a huge stat lead in both our plus moves, which are very nice always, of course. We're still at parity top, but I decided to fall back a little bit to see what our teammates are doing bottom and sacrifice the top gold pad essentially. Sacking it here is kind of disadvantageous in some areas, but it means that we can get the bottom thing for sure. My team was already here, so I decided to just play with them. Leaving the Guardia alone is a bit risky, and sure enough, she's having a hard time dealing with the enemy Pokemon that went on her. But at the same time, I feel as a defender, my job is to play with the majority of the teammates there. If I was like dueling with the Guardia or something, it might be different, but when I'm playing solo, my general mindset is play with the team, and so if most of the team is bottom, that's where the team is at, you know? Yep, Sableye and I are able to easily take them out together because of how his stuns and my stuns stack together. I'm of course just circling the Blastoise trying to dodge his Surf here, but eventually he gets it off. Luckily, again, my ult helps to counter their offense. The area of effect damage and slow is really huge and really halts their advance in situations like that. But of course, I do need to back off afterwards because I am alone and I don't want to get picked off by their attackers and all their crazy damage. As a matter of fact, how low I've gotten, it's best just to retreat home at this point if I can and trust that my teammates can hold it down. We already have 3 down on the enemy side, and even though one's coming back up and we just lost one, we got the Lucario as well. Like, these people are doing really good without me, even. Overall, this was a really strong game. Yeah, Guardian's got the right idea here. With the game at parity and them having no chance of getting the objective, the best thing to do here is just score and cement our lead. Make sure they can't get back by scoring at all. So the Guardi going bottom does mean she dies, unfortunately. But it means that we for sure get top knocked out. So we have a over 100-point lead. So even if they knock out bottom, we're okay. Even so, I'm going to stay down here and defend, just trusting that they don't have enough time, with the time remaining in the game, to both get grad on and score points with it. My goal at this point is just, with 20 seconds left, I'm just going to make sure that the pad is defended, and hopefully someone can go top and defend that when it's up. Yep, Mewtwo's going, thankfully. This allows Meowth and I to remain here. And even though they do get the Groudon in the end, it's not enough for them to be able to score or get anything else off of it. Unfortunately, their team just couldn't make use of the buffs in time. And yeah, you could see in those team fights how Articuno really helps you maintain control through use of all the area of effects, slows and stuns, and being a really tanky body, and having huge damage as well. I dealt 70,000 in this game. That's like what an attacker usually deals. Yep, and there's the scoreboard as well. I like looking at stuff like this sometimes. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Like I said before, if you like this content, please leave a like, let me know, subscribe for more stuff like this. And if you're watching this the day it goes up, I'm going to be streaming tonight on Twitch. So check the link in the description below, and follow if you want to be notified when I go live. Anyway, thank you all for watching. That's all I have for you today. Peace.